Some people are saying that they're unable to join. Don't know how to join in. Shamla Dalvi.
Good evening and a warm welcome to all those who have logged in through Zoom and to all those who have logged in through Facebook too. So we are about to begin today's Spotlight webinar. And before we do, let me shortly talk about AECD2. So I will be sharing my screen. So give me a minute. While I'm doing so, I would also I'm really lovingly looking forward to the entire Vikramshila team's presentation and their work. A warm welcome to you all, Vikramshila team. Grishma, can I request you to please mute the other participants?
Yes, ma'am.
AECD, as we all know, is the Association for Early Childhood Education and Development. It is formally known as IAP. Many of you would have known them, known as IAPE. So let me go to our history and how we got here, and let us know more about AECD. There are some participants who are still, yeah, thank you. So AECD was formerly known as Indian Association for Preschool Education, IAPE. It was established in the year 1964 to bring together professionals in the field of ECC in the interest of the young child. It was started in New Delhi in Lady Irwin College, Department of Child Development, in the presence of the first Prime Minister of India. IAP aimed to empower concerned adults through professional development, workshops, and refresher courses. I remember very well, for me, I'm a member of AECD for more than 25 years. And I remember looking forward to the Balak journal so much that it used to come through the Indian Post, and we used to really look forward to that journal. IEPE also held annual conferences and thus building capacities of early childhood professionals. IEP has been working with government functionaries and eminent educationists, and has also collaborated with NCRT. IEP was invited by government to be on various committees related to child welfare, ICDS, Anganwadis, and Balwadis. As an initiative at Maharashtra, IEP has also participated in government's Ram Joshi Commission to review preschool education in the state with BMC for training teachers for their new English medium schools. In 2008, IEP was dissolved and evolved into a new avatar. AECD was registered under the Society's Registration Act. The mandate now is right-based approach and in building capacities of all stakeholders. And this is to provide guidance for holistic child development in the 21st century. AECD continues to work with government functionaries, and some of those examples we would like to highlight. At the state level, it has provided recommendations to regulate ECC centers in Maharashtra in 2012. Similarly, it worked with the government of Maharashtra in forming the regulatory guidelines for creche and daycare services in 2017. And at national level, AECD has also participated in providing feedback to the draft NEPE. These are some images from the archives of IAP, and these are images what you're seeing of the IAP conferences which used to be held earlier. Some of the prominent leaders who were part of IAP were Shri Ganga Sharan Sinha, who was the Rajya Sabha member and was fondly called as Ganga Babu at IAP. Srimati Mrinalini Sarabai, Professor Amita Verma, Professor Veena Mistry, Dr. Ananda Lakshmi, Meena Swaminathan, and Professor Muralidharan were some of the prominent leaders associated with IAP. Today, the national office of AECD is at Tata Institute of Social Sciences at Mumbai. And these, I would like to highlight some of the key initiatives that we do at the national level. Is advocacy on national policies, conduct conferences. We also look at opening new branches. And similarly, at the branch level, we provide consultancy, refresher courses, local networking, professional development for early years educators, workshops for parents, advocacy at local level, and information related to early childhood years. Yet another initiative is the newsletters, e-newsletters, and these are rolled out twice in a year. And these are open to all to participate. All your good practices, you can write to us and we would love to publish them in the newsletters. Similarly, yet another program is the outreach program for parents. And this we have AECD has a tie-up is affiliated to Balamandir Research Foundation. And this program is in parenting program. It is based on the LTP calendar, which is a pictorial tool developed by Hicks Delcrest Center, Toronto, Canada, and is adapted to the Indian conditions. You can write to us in these email IDs and partner with AECD to roll out these programs in your organizations. As I said earlier, I've been a member of AECD more than 25 years. So I request all of you, those who are associated in early years, to take up these memberships, either institutional or individual. You can either take long term of 5 years or 1 year minimum. And this is the upcoming event.
Hello.
Excuse me.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
मोहम्मद यासिन, आपका सवाल हम बाद में लेंगे, अभी हम प्रेजेंटेशन कर रहे हैं, फिर बाद में बात करेंगे. आपका सवाल है तो आप चैट में लिख सकते हैं, हम बाद में ले लेंगे. Thank you, Mohammed. So I was telling about the event that is coming up, and we all are looking forward to this event, which is the first virtual world conference that is coming up on 2nd of June and 3rd and 4th of June. So there are 3 days of really engaging with inspiring speakers. There are a lot of insightful research papers. There are opportunities for professional development and networking with all leaders across the world. And I definitely think we should not miss this opportunity. So these are some details on how you could register. Please write to us. There are offerings there are discounts, and there are opportunities to book as a group. So look out for group bookings. come join us and be a part of this network. You can write to these email IDs or contact Purnima or Grishma in these numbers for more details. Thank you. That was about AECD, and now let's shift the focus and move our spotlight to Vikramshila. And something about Vikramshila, of course, I have to introduce. And Vikramshila Education Resource Society is a non-profit, non-government organization working in the area of education. They began their work in 1989, and their mission is of making quality education a reality for all children. Their core areas of work are curriculum development, academics and pedagogy, research and policy advocacy. The best part of this organization, what I felt, was you guys are working at the macro and the micro level, which is really nice. Meaning you're working with the government systems as well as the critical grassroots that matter so much, and you're working directly with the teachers and the children. So let's invite the key person who really got all this together. And let me invite the founder director, Ms. Shubhra Chatterji, to the spotlight. Thank you so much, Shubhra, for joining us. It is a pleasure having you and your entire team, and we are so much looking forward to the entire work that you'll have done.
For inviting us.
You're welcome. So I was reading about you, and it was really interesting to see you go a really long way back in 1986. And I was wondering how, those years in 1986, I'm sure there was very little space and awareness about early childhood years. And how did you choose to be in that space and finally come to conceptualizing Vikramshila? Could you let us tell us more about it?
Okay, I'll try to be brief.
Sure.
I took my Montessori training in the 80s, and and my teacher was directly taught by Maria Montessori. So he had something of her. And that was a life-changing experience for me. And I found my calling. I knew that I had to do that. And it actually changed my outlook on education, about the child, about life in general. And I decided, no, I had to do this. For the first few years, I taught children. I still love teaching children and being with children. But after a few years, I realized that, I wanted to do something more, to take this wonderful method of education, or more and more, especially the underprivileged children of this country. There is no difference between the rich and the poor, how they are. And education in our country, instead of being like a bridge, acts like a wedge dividing the rich and the poor. So I thought this is a nice bridge to build. And with all that thought, Vikramshila started. And yes, I used to feel very sad that why isn't pre-primary education being given importance it deserves? But in those days, but now finally, I'm so happy that in a new education policy, and for the last 10 years in India, it has got a center stage, and there is so much scope, and really happy to be in this space.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And it's such a wonderful thing to have known, you have been the pioneers in bringing AECED, the early childhood importance, and you really found that it's so important that you took up the, the onus of even putting an organization together to drive this mission. So thank you so much for doing that. I would now like to invite yet another core person in Vikramshila, the Deputy Director, Namrata Ghosh. Can we also have the spotlight on Namrata Ghosh, please?
Hi, Rekha.
Namrata, can you switch on your video so that...
My video is on, yeah.
Yeah, we got you. Thank you so much. So Namrata, you began your journey in 2006 and have done so much work in Azim Premji Foundation before joining Vikramshila. So that's so much of groundwork already there. And so you already came in with a lot of work here. So would you like to tell us more about what your job role is in Vikramshila now? And how do you see it more connected and meaningful now that you're a mom of a little one too?
Thank you, Rekha. I think I'd like to start a little bit about even before Azim Premji Foundation, I have been associated with Vikramshila as a student. So I was a student of social science sociology, and I was doing my master's in Delhi School of Economics in Delhi. And Delhi has, 2-month big summer gap. And we all felt, some of us, friends who went from Calcutta, that it would be a good time to put into action some of these social institutions and social phenomena, theories, models that we've been learning about, and see it actually, what are the social problems on the ground in the structures and institutions that we're reading about. And we're very fortunate that, CRY, linked us up with Vikramshila and Calcutta, and that was my first 2-month internship with Vikramshila. And, Shubhra is just as she's now, she was back then. She sent us up to the field. She's like, yes, we explored, learned. She gave us a project. And my first interaction with the real social problems, it really hit the, the magnitude and the, what really is on the other side, which we don't get to see as students, as, privileged sections of society in a lot of ways. And a lot of, what I've studied, Montesquieu and Spencer, Durkheim, Karl Marx, all of that, Max Weber came in front of me, and, we were thinking, all of us thought that we were on the path to becoming, academic students, and we wanted to do a PhD and stuff, but we felt that, there are enough theories and enough models. We now want to work on the ground because social problems have their root in the society, and solutions are also in the society. And Vikramshila did show me one of the solutions through their, community learning centers that we were interning with. And that was the starting point of my journey in the development sector. And, the rest followed. But yeah, I think I've been more hands-on now that I'm a mom, because I've, come down from the structures and theories, and I'm actually doing all the practicals with my own hands.
That's really nice. That's really nice. Now you have all kinds of ground field work now.
Yeah, it's like a 360 degrees for me.
That's nice. Thank you for sharing. Now I would like to yet another crucial pillar in the organization. I would like to invite Namrata Rawat on the spotlight. And Namrata, can we have you? Oh, yeah, there you are. Thank you. So Namrata, we know each other, and it's really, really nice to meet again.
Yeah.
And so Namrata specializes she's the AECED specialist in the organization, and she brings along with her experiences of working in AECED and also as the faculty member for Ambedkar University. That's really nice core things that you're bringing along to Vikramshila, and I'm sure you're more enriched now working here. So right now, I just wanted to know, where have you joined us from, what location, and what has been your work for the past days that you're there in that location? And could you let us know more? What have you done? What are you guys doing there? And how does this matter to the young children that we are all working towards?
Sure. So thank you so much, Rekha. And it's been my pleasure to join everyone in this conversation. I am right now in Guwahati, Assam, and I'm here since last 10 days with my team. And it's an amazing journey, I would say. I would say that, in the last 10 days, I have seen, the whole process about, what ECE actually means. So we are actually developing model centers here. We are redesigning and reorganizing an Anganwadi center. We ourselves painted the wall, the floor, doors, and even, developing some strategy documents alongside. So that is something which we have been doing with my team in Assam. It's been an amazing experience because, apart from kind of developing the model center or designing the model center, we actually invited few children to see if this idea is working or not. because we really believe that if we are doing something for children, they should be part of the decision making. So, one thing which we really enjoyed, and it was very spontaneous for us. So we made a floor plan of a floor game, and we were not sure whether, is it simple for children or is it like too difficult for them. So we invited few of them. They were like already very excited to see like what's happening inside. There are a lot of people inside and they were coming to join us. So, there have been group of children of like, 10 to 12 years who are helping us to clean the surface. There are children, of 4 to 6 years who are actually helping us to see whether this game is going to work or not. So that is something which, which was very motivating for us. And the first day when we opened the center for children, we were thinking that, the Anganwadi centers are opening after 2 years, and, there may be some difficulty when, children are coming in the center. But you will be surprised to know that children came running. They didn't even thought of like how many adults are there. They just came running, looking at the walls. They were jumping from like, we had a wheel game. So they started jumping. They started asking about it. There were tangram shapes in the center, and they were just trying to identify, is this a kite or a fish or something else. It was a treat to see what is happening here. And I would say that it has actually kind of going through the whole process of what ECE actually means, and what it means for them as children. Because the few words which we were hearing often was their laughter, was their curiosity of what is being there. And also there were certain words like they were having fun, they were enjoying, they were interacting with their environment. So that was something which came on and off while we were having the conversation. The Anganwadi worker and helper were there, parents were there, and they were using those words ki, if we are feeling so happy about the center, we can't imagine what is bringing what kind of joy they are bringing to the child. And it's been amazing for us. And my team is here with me, and we are talking about these things, and also how can we actually take it forward, not just for one center, but something which we can do for others as well, along with the government, and within a very low cost. So that is our basic objective in this.
Absolutely. It's really wonderful, and hope your work is, you can continue your work with the same enthusiasm, and hope all the waves of COVID has rested now and you can
Absolutely.
continue functioning and be with the children and parents and everybody. So thank you so much. And would you like to also share the names of the team that is there with you? It'll be nice to bring in their names too, though we may not
Sure.
put them on the spotlight. Yeah.
Sure. So we have been joined by Panna Sarkar. You can see him on the screen. He's joining hands. And along with Panna, I have Megha with us. Chanda Bansford, she has just opened her, switched on her camera. We also have Supriya Mohanto. She's also here. Supriya Barua, along with that. And you can see all the faces on the screen. Joshmita Das. And Bijit is also there. Yes. So we are the team right now in Assam, and we are like in the same room and scattered around to join this session.
Really nice, really nice. I can feel the happiness of you guys also being there. It is also reflecting of your happiness, not only that of the children. So it's really nice to have you all together there. So that was, and now if we can move on to what the vision and the philosophy of the organization has been, and the exemplary practices that you want to highlight and share with everybody, we could go ahead to the next section of this webinar. So over to you, Shubhra ji.
There is a PowerPoint which we have kept so that we keep to the time.
Sure.
My colleague Namrata, she will start. And then maybe, I can fill in if needed.
Sure.
So I'll be brief about the introduction of the organization, because a lot of it is already there on our website. So moving ahead, we'll talk about our early childhood education programs.
Sure. Go ahead, Namrata.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the, and this, we move on to the next
Change the
screen.
slide.
So, you know, this is our
No, go back to the
previous
picture.
slide.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is our organization mission, making quality education a reality for all children. Quality and equity being the two focal points of all our work, and we try to find our center in these two words. And this is a photograph of one of the children, one child from our programs in Assam, in Buxa district. And this is from our responsive care parenting program, which we'll be talking about more further. And this is a, you know, this is a, my voice is not clear. Is it clear now? So this child is,
Namrata, Ghosh, can you switch off your videos? Then it'll be better. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Anjali, for pointing out here.
so the picture is actually sent by one of the parents, because, you know, we keep asking them to share their, you know, whatever they're doing with the children, the engagements that they are having, because we keep sending parenting tips and messages. And it was good to see that the parent has been engaging the child effectively. And we're very happy to see this picture. It always brightens us up. Moving on. The next slide. So Vikramshila is a non-profit, non-governmental organization. We are headquartered in Kolkata, West Bengal. We were established in 1989, as Shubhra mentioned, and currently we have offices in state offices in Guwahati, Lucknow, Pune, Patna, and Ranchi. Our staff strength is 300 plus. Yet they are also our members because we are a society. So all our staff is our, we are all members together. We have been working pan-India since inception and have so far covered 15 states in some of the most difficult geographies, both through technical partnerships as well as with direct implementation. So state level as well as ground level work, as Rekha ji also highlighted. Some of our focus areas are, while we also do several other things in the entire school education space, we work across, the K-12 spectrum, but we are highlighting our work around early childhood education and foundational literacy and numeracy. We feel this is where the most of our efforts need to go, given the present times and also given the policy push. Our work is around these two strands, which are highlighted in the red. The red segments. So we train teachers, we train Anganwadi workers, teacher educators, state level master trainers. We set up demonstrable models on the ground, and we, complement our programs with strong research and advocacy through collaborations. Moving on to the next slide. This is we wanted to create a flow chart of, our organization's work from 1989 to now. And I'll be very brief that, the organization started working from the very beginning with a number of states. So Bihar, Assam, Odisha, West Bengal, you can see in that arrow 1989 to 1995. We also, our founder director, Shubhra, with the St. Xavier's College, also started a certificate course in early childhood education, early childhood learning it was called. And it went on till 2005. So this is something that has been running parallelly along with all our other programs. To create, an EC cadre, which the MEP also talks about now, and I just feel that, the work has happened, has started long before as well. We worked with, Anganwadi workers and supervisors in MP, conducted action research programs in rural and urban sites in Kolkata and Bardhaman. These are both in West Bengal. And from 2011 onwards, we started working with West Bengal government, with the Department of Women and Child Development, across all 23 districts of West Bengal. So this is primarily, early childhood education, work from curriculum development to, teacher training, cadre development, the SRTs, DRTs, all of that, as well as building model centers, which the Chief Minister also has adopted, and she calls it Shishu Alois, homes for the children. So it's got a lot of mileage also because the state has been a partner. We've worked in Jammu and Kashmir on curriculum and training modules. From 2017 onwards, we've been working in Uttar Pradesh with intensive work in 4 aspirational districts of Devi Patil division, as well as state level work to create state level master trainers. With SCRT Assam and SSM Assam, we started working from 2020. We're also working with Department of Social Welfare in Assam. We're also working with Anganwadis there. So in Assam, our work is across, both the areas. We're working with the school education department as well as with the Department of Women and Child Development and Social Welfare. So we are reaching out to pre-primary sections in schools as well as Anganwadis. 2020 onwards, we've also started working in Maharashtra. You can just go back to the previous slide. We started working in Rajasthan, Jharkhand, and as I said, that Assam, the work with Anganwadis also started from 2020. What we haven't captured perhaps is 2021, 2022, where we started working in Odisha also in the 0 to 3 space and in Uttar Pradesh also. So we are now covering the entire spectrum of 0 to 6 years as well. Moving on to the next slide, please. And this is a working model. As Rekha, you also mentioned, and we strongly believe that we need to focus on both these areas, that unless we have ground models, we will not be able to do state level advocacy, and unless we do state level advocacy, we will not be able to push for any kind of policy changes. And this is the kind of model we keep working around. So to create learning hubs as well as support and strategy documents, create learning hubs for effective replication and scalability across different states in the country. Next slide, please. Okay. So now that we've seen the areas of work that we do. This is around, we work around curriculum and trainings and a lot of other areas. But I think what we wanted to highlight in this webinar was a responsive parenting program, a responsive care and parenting program. And I'll hand it over to Shubhra to take us through the next slides.
Okay, one of the reasons we wanted to share with you our 30 years of experience is that what happened from 2020 was a kind of culmination of our 30 years of experience when COVID came and we faced an unprecedented situation. And we never thought prior to 2020, we never thought we would go into this kind of home-based learning or things like that. But that was the time we were all locked up in our own homes, and we decided immediately, very early on in the pandemic, we decided that we have to do something. We have to support children and more. And as the stories kept pouring in about the distress of people and the panic and the overall gloom, so we said that, as a psychosocial support, it's the initial thought was that something that the family would feel good about, doing something with their children, The other structured things came later on, but this was the thought which propelled us into action. So it was a response that developed from an attempt to ensure that children are engaged at home in meaningful and developmentally appropriate activities. And also a UNICEF report came out which said that children, because the parents were so stressed and they were subject to punishment, and I think 7 ways of punishment or something, that was appalling. So that was also one of the triggers that made us feel that we have to do. And our program was designed in a manner that, the entire family would be engaged, because we knew that in a family, especially in an underprivileged family, the mother is very quite low, just next to the child in the power hierarchy. And, she also would, so unless, everyone is there, taking care of the child, being with the child, playing with the child. And in the family dynamics, child rearing practices, beliefs, they are so different. So we designed our programs in that, keeping that part in mind. And the 5 domains of development and all, naturally, when we get into design, all these, we are early childhood educators, these would come in. But, and the thing that we wanted to do is we sent them through infographics that parents would understand. And yes, WhatsApp was our medium. We could not help it at that time, but we wanted it to be of low bandwidth, audio resources, and one pictorial, just telling what the activity is. So that's how we started. Next.
Yeah, the pictorial, the literacy would have been a challenge, and that's why the pictures would have helped immensely. Yeah.
Yes. Yes, Rekha ji, I think I could not hear you.
I said literacy would have been an issue, and that's why the pictorials presentation would have really helped them.
It really clicked like anything, that audio and the picture, that combination actually. And the audio clip was not more than 1 minute, 1 to 2 minutes, not too long. And also we know that, even if the families have a smartphone, data is an issue. uh, Internet connectivity bandwidth is an issue, also charging is an issue. So we wanted to keep it as light as possible in terms of data, just to, and then the Anganwadi workers were also visiting homes, and we tried various means. So it all worked. So what were the objectives of RCP? To ensure learning continuity, and slowly as the pandemic progressed and we realized that it was not a 100-meter race, but a kind of a marathon. So we tried to make it more structured at that time. So promote psychosocial well-being among children, empower caregivers through resilience building and proven strategies for improved caregiving and practicing parenting. What I want to highlight is that, our package is not a static package. Till now, we are constantly changing and evolving, because as the situation keeps changing. See, 2020 is very different from 2021, and again 2022 is very different from 2021. So all these things, the same package will not work. So we keep changing as per the needs, and though that element of research and feedback is very integral to our kind of approach to responsive care and parenting. So no, I'm not reading out the slides. Actually, is it okay? I'm talking around and about.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I thought that those who would feel like reading can read, but
Yeah.
I can talk about these. What were the thoughts that, went behind in, having these objectives and all. So next slide. So this is more or less, see, this structure again, I'm not telling you that we started with this structure in 2020. No, it is now on hindsight, based on our experience. We know that we have theorized it. We have put it into practice. Now, we have theorized our practice. So what was this home-based learning program about responsive parenting? One part was content development. The other part was dissemination. Dissemination had its pains, and it is a long story by itself. I've been talking about the production. That's the easier part. But dissemination, I'll tell you, for phone users, for non-phone users. And then the content development, as I told you earlier, that calendar of activities that was designed and the resources that went along with it. There were some songs, stories, usual thing. I mean, nothing very unusual. A lot of organizations are doing it. But our lucky break was that when we started, we had two state governments with us. That was West Bengal and Uttar Pradesh. And then later on Maharashtra. So then we got that, 29 lakh children and 30, suddenly these large numbers. So we had to keep it something very practical. We could not be too ambitious about the package. And what we did was this usage was, was a matter of concern, because everyone was talking about the digital divide, non-availability of smartphones. And the other learning that we had from this was, as long as the first 3-4 months of stringent lockdown was there, the family dynamics was different. Even the male members and their smartphones were in the family. And once it opened up, the male members, along with the smartphones, they left the homes. And then, we had to think of something else. So that is why and we were constantly undertaking dipstick studies and, home visits by our field staff, just to find out what the situation. Okay, it is November, December, kheti ka samay hai, parents go to the field. So what kind of activity? So this kind of, thinking and research went constantly with feedback and then looping in. So a part of our content is fixed, and part of it is, constantly changing and evolving. And for non-phone users, we thought that, the home visits and when they come to collect their rations, that is the best way. So this is what, but, this also has changed over a period of time. And right now, what we have found that not through home visits, not inside the Anganwadi centers, but the best way to really make an impact and to reach out is to have something outside in the community spaces. So I would like to share a small 1-minute video of the Chopals, the ECCE Chopals that we are running in UP. I have got this data that we have in Devi Patan division. More than 7,000 Chopal sessions have been organized in these last 3-4 months, and they are really electrifying. If you see the energy, please, I would request who would show it, because I've been talking so much. I don't want the audience to be bored. So I thought, let there be some.
Yeah, absolutely. I can understand, because what you can visually see, it'll be really appealing and, connect with what is happening in the ground there.
Yes.
In the meantime, they're uploading the video.
Yeah.
I really like the part, Shubhra, about the part that when you were saying about the seasonal changes that were happening and how you adapted the program accordingly. And those are some realities which are there on the ground. And sometimes when we are developing curriculums or developing designing the programs, these can kind of, we can overlook. And it is very nice that you are evolving as you go along with it. And also through the pandemic, the other change, as you mentioned rightly, was the bread earning members when they walked out and they started again going back to their work. And that's when the phones went with them. And what could you do? How would you reach the mother? How would you reach the child? It became a challenge. And I really can connect with those situations which came through the pandemic and as we progressed. And it is really nice to see you have even tried to find solutions to those situations and worked your way around and adapted the program and its implementation strategies.
Okay, just before I forget, before this video comes, one of the triggers for this, starting this Chopal and thinking of more community-based things is, okay, Panna, you show it.
Okay. Yeah, we'll come back to
I can continue later on.
I'll come
I
back.
can continue later on. Yeah. This video was released on the occasion of 75 years of UNICEF. We call them happiness sessions because it was bringing a lot of happiness.
यूनिसेफ की 75 आज हम लोग यूनिसेफ की 75वीं वर्षगांठ के उपलक्ष्य में देवीपाटन मंडल के चारों जिलों में 75 जगहों पर खुशी का चौपाल लगा रहे हैं। आईसीडीएस यूपी ने यूनिसेफ के तकनीकी सहयोग से कोविड के दौरान बंद आंगनवाड़ी केंद्रों को और बच्चों को केंद्र से जोड़कर रखने के लिए संवेदनशील परवरिश कार्यक्रम की शुरुआत की है। और ये हमें देखने को मिल रहा है उत्तर प्रदेश के दूरदराज के इलाकों में, जहां पर बच्चों के अभिभावकों ने गतिविधियों को संचालित करने की जिम्मेदारी ली है। होम बेस्ड लर्निंग प्रोग्राम और 32 सप्ताह के कैलेंडर के बाद भी एक कमी महसूस हुई कि अभी भी सभी अभिभावकों तक पहुंच नहीं हो पा रही है। इसलिए हम लोगों ने चौपाल का आयोजन करने का निर्णय लिया है। चौपाल के माध्यम से अब सभी अभिभावकों तक पहुंच बनाने की कोशिश की जा रही है। ये चौपाल महीने में 2 बार लगाई जाएगी, जिसकी समय अवधि होगी 1 से 1.5 घंटा। केंद्र में जो भी बच्चे नामांकित हैं, उन सभी के अभिभावकों को आंगनवाड़ी कार्यकर्त्री एक सभा के द्वारा एक खुले प्रांगण में सभी को एकत्रित करके संवेदनशील परवरिश पर आधारित जो हमारा 32 सप्ताह का कैलेंडर है, उसके बारे में भी ओरिएंट करेगी कि घर पे रह करके वो गतिविधियां कैसे करवाए। यूनिसेफ के द्वारा सभी आंगनवाड़ी कार्यकर्त्रियों को एक चौपाल किट भी दी गई है। इस किट में आंगनवाड़ियों के लिए कार्यकर्त्री हस्त पुस्तिका भी दी गई है, जिसमें सभी निर्देश दिए गए हैं कि चौपाल किस तरह से लगानी है, क्यों लगानी है, चौपाल लगाने का उद्देश्य क्या है। और उसमें बैठकें दी गई हैं, जैसे 1 से लेकर 10 तक बैठकों के बारे में बताया गया है कि बैठकें किस तरह से लगाएं। वो पहले उनको अभिभावकों का अभिवादन करना है, उसके बाद वो कौन सी गतिविधि करवाएं, कब उन्हें कैलेंडर के बारे में बताना है और कैसे उन्हें पिछले सप्ताह जो गतिविधियां अभिभावकों को बता चुकी हैं उसके बारे में फीडबैक किस तरह से लेना है, इन सभी के बारे में निर्देश दिए गए हैं। इसके साथ ही एक फ्लिप बुक भी है जो अभिभावकों के लिए मुख्य रूप से बनाई गई है, विशेष तौर पे बनाई गई है, जिसमें छोटे छोटे और बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण विषय लिए गए हैं।
as you
So
rightly
this
said, it
this
was
was a jhanki.
really nice. And you could see the parents and everybody connecting with what is to be done. And not only now, it's not, the Anganwadi worker is not the only educator around the child there. We have so many more educators there and connections to what the
And not only
child.
parents, but you can see that elderly gentleman, he was not even related to the child, but he just got interested and joined. And
Okay.
I think it's really building a larger awareness on early childhood education and the practices. Oh, one of the things I wanted to mention, this is a feedback we have been getting from all the fields, that parents have said that now we have finally understood कि क्यों ये सब कराया जाता है आंगनवाड़ी में. हम तो
Correct.
सोचते थे कि क्यों खेल करते हैं, क्यों नहीं पढ़ाते हैं, but once they started doing the activities themselves and they saw how much their children progressed in terms of their self confidence, discipline, तो उनको देखने को मिला. And I think ये चीज ना बोलने से नहीं, I think that was our weak points before this whole home learning thing. Parents के साथ connection, उनको समझाना, convince करना, because they had a set of, either they were not interested at all, or the interested parents had this set expectations कि they will be taught formal education. That the value of play, the value of active play based activities, वो तो बहुत मुश्किल हो रहा था समझाने. But this is something, it has made our job very easy in the sense. Should not be calling it a silver lining, but in fact it is.
Yeah. I'm
So,
sure.
just the resources developed, क्या क्या करते हैं हम थोड़ा सा बोल देते हैं. Illustrated weekly fortnightly calendar of activities, वो state के ऊपर, and Jharkhand we do it monthly. थोड़ा सा और light है because the two districts where we work has a lot of tribal population. Poverty level is very high, and we have to keep all those factors in mind. So वहाँ पर बहुत ही light touch एक program है. वेस्ट बंगाल में थोड़ा सा हैवी टच है बिकॉज पेरेंट्स का एक्सपेक्टेशन भी हाई है. सो इट डिपेंड्स ऑन द स्टेट कहाँ पर क्या करते हैं. तो सिंपल कॉम्प्रिहेंसिव ऑडियो इंस्ट्रक्शंस आई हैव ऑलरेडी सेट, इंस्ट्रक्टिव ऑडियोज फॉर पेरेंट्स. कि पेरेंट्स को हम थोड़ा सा एक आने, हमारा द चेंजेस दैट वी इन महाराष्ट्र फॉर एग्जांपल वी रिवाइज्ड because their parents are also very aware and the uptake is quite good. I mean, in Pune we are doing, so Pune the uptake is quite good actually. Quite a lot of parents do, and then they started saying, okay, you have sent this activity, but what, my child is older, what do I do? My child is younger, so what do I do? So we kept tweaking these activities, we kept changing, and as the parents gave feedback, then they wanted some Hindi. There are a lot of Hindi community in Pune, we don't know. So we introduced some Hindi, and then the Marathi parents also welcomed the Hindi. So this kind of changes were introduced. So I will not dwell on this slide anymore. Next slide.
Yeah.
West Bengal calendars, it looks like this. As I told you, there's a pictorial calendar, what activities are there. And what West Bengal has done is, it has got community radio. What happens to this is disseminated through WhatsApp and YouTube. As you can see, the entire screen is not visible, but I will just share. And then we have also started a program on community radio, with community radios. We have broadcast, I think, 120 episodes so far, and through cable TV channels in 13 districts, where we found that जिनके पास WhatsApp नहीं है, YouTube, digital ये नहीं है, but cable TV is something a lot of people have.
Okay.
So that is working well, and so far 120 episodes have been also aired in these. So it's been going on.
And these are with Doordarshan channels
so
or
cable TV, local TV.
Oh,
local TV. We had to kind of, it was through the DM's initiative. थोड़ा सा बातचीत कर लें कि फ्री दे दे हमको ये स्पेस आधा घंटा के लिए. They watch cable. वहाँ पर movies वगैरह दिखाते हैं. So they are very popular, the rural areas and all that. Everyone watches. So that's why because Doordarshan, we got the data कि the viewership इतना नहीं है. And the private TV channels would charge a lot. So this was a very good option, actually low cost option for us. So I wanted to share this.
That's really nice. And what about the community radio? Was that also a channel?
The community radio, जहाँ पर, like Purulia, it's a very remote district. That's working well. But one is, it's mixed. I mean, where it works, But that's another way of reaching out. If they have a loyal viewership, So usko bhi reach karna, tap karna. Maybe everyone is not very comfortable with the idea of WhatsApp and YouTube. So trying out. So Chopal was one thing, community radio, cable TV. So
So
these are the different
multiple platforms where people
multiple
had the
platforms. Yes,
opportunity to engage and
yes.
get
That was our, yes,
yeah.
that was the idea. So can we move to the next slide? In West Bengal, we did another thing. The slide went missing, I think. We developed a course because the program was so popular and it was being implemented in all the 23 districts, entire for all Anganwadis. So they wanted a proper training course for the CDPOs and supervisors. Because unless that alignment from the leadership is not there, the Anganwadi worker does not feel motivated to take on so much responsibility. So we designed a course on LMS, which is a self-paced course that they are right now. All the CDPOs and supervisors of the state are undergoing that training. It's an online training that they are doing. So over to Assam, to Namrata.
Thank you, Shubhra. As you all can see that, in the screen, we can see 5 different sections. And this is actually a comprehensive responsive parenting package that we developed in Assam. So, the basic idea while we were developing the framework was, there is already a lot of material and resources available, in the field, in the ecosystem. So there's no point in reinventing the whole wheel again. And how can we actually, build on those foundations? So we, kind of collaborated with UNICEF, and you can see 3 things that we directly contextualized. One was the videos. You can see 5 videos. They have been dubbed in Assamese for maximum reach. There is Varnamala chart, which is an alphabetical chart in Hindi and Assamese, and have very specific connotations associated with them with respect to parenting. For example, ka kahani, kha khel, ga geet, is tarike se. And then there are posters who were actually which were actually used for sensitization, awareness with the Anganwadi workers, the ICDS officials, as well as parents. So these were actually some of the resources which were contextualized in for Assam, but the home-based activity calendar and weekly messages were newly developed for Assam by Vikramshila. And, as you can see, there's a small hand in between. It is actually the framework that we thought that it should be easier for parent to remember, understand, and basic things. So, with your hands, you can talk about, first we will have conversation with the child. We will sing songs with the child. We will tell stories to the child. We will play with the child. And at last, we will do some activities with the child, which are based on some of the cognitive or some other skills that can be supplementary to the school closure, to the Anganwadi center closure. So it was based on this framework, and it was a very comprehensive package. And we started with delivering them online, but we felt, obviously, as we all are aware, that because of the non-availability of mobile phones or non-availability of internet in all the areas, we could not reach out to the maximum parent. So very interesting thing happened. And so there were few parents who were very energetic. They wanted to add value to this. And that's how there is a concept called Buddy Parents was started in Assam, wherein all the parents who have the access to technology, who know how to use WhatsApp, who know, how to actually go to the links, they formed weekly groups with other parents, like in the neighborhood, and they were coming together talking about what kind of activities you are doing with your children. You can do these activities also. So they were showing their mobile phones to other people in the neighborhood. So that was something which actually added value to the whole program. And that is how our content plus our dissemination as well as our feedback loop is very, very important for us. And that is how we are trying to evolve our package as well as our dissemination strategies. So that is something which came out as a learning for all of us, that this is possible. We can actually leverage upon some network which are already there, or with the potential of development, with the potential of interest from parents groups. So, we were using SSGs, parent groups, mother groups, as well as these buddy groups to actually reach out to the last child. That is something which we did in Assam. It was a real, success for us. And later on, we developed a lot of strategy documents for the state to follow, replicate, and scale up. So that is about the Assam. And, I would request Shubhra to actually talk about UP. And after that, we can have a look at the, a montage of children doing activities. There's an app called Balpitara, which was very, very, interesting. So Shubhra, over to you.
Yes,
One second.
I think.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
One second, I just have a little question here.
Yeah.
And I just thought, Namrata, before you close the others, could you also share how the CDPOs and supervisors and the DPOs, took onus of these programs, and how did were they also involved in all of this?
Yes. So very interesting, Rekha, actually here. So, we will go back to our, working model for this. So, as we have a working model wherein we have a group of learning, you can call it a learning group for now, because I won't call it learning centers. So we select some hub centers or hub, locations wherein we connect with a small number of, frontline workers. So for this, we were having an ABC model. And for that, we were interacting very intensively with Anganwadi workers at A level, but at the same time, we were also interacting with supervisors at B level and CDPOs and the district level officials from, the state at C level. So, while we were actually training Anganwadi workers at A level, after certain number of days, from learning from the field and everything, we were implementing, and we were actually, talking to the state to kind of also talk about the specific concept of responsive parenting with the supervisors and CDPOs as well. So, it was actually, it was very helpful for us, and UNICEF was very instrumental in this. We could actually convince the director to release, an order for these 4 districts specifically, which we were working in, to do the training for all the district officials and all the supervisors in the district. So I would say that in Assam we actually leveraged upon several networks at the state level, at the local level, and that was very, very helpful. So DPOs were aware about it, DSWOs were aware about it, CDPOs were aware about it, and they were taking interest in this. And when we started this project in Assam, we actually had a conversation with all the district level officials, so that we can actually take them along with us, and we also kind of get try to know their perspectives and what do they think about this, and take their inputs as well to kind of strengthen the whole dissemination process.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's really nice, because then the entire cadre of ICDS is involved and engaged with it, and it just then becomes so sustainable, and
Yes.
it just they can really provide support to each other and get the program well implemented. So that's really nice. Thank you.
Before going to Bihar, I would like to say that this package you see here is the UNICEF's RCP package, which we adapted for Assam, contextualized it, translated it, and it was developed, I think, in consultation with Lady Irwin College. It is called Parvarish Ke Champion. So I wanted to acknowledge that.
Yes.
So shall we go to the next slide, or is it about UP? I don't remember.
Yes. We can now talk about the app which was developed.
Okay.
And yeah.
So UP, what we did was, as usual, we started in the 4 aspirational districts following the ABC model, and our advocacy with the state constantly goes on. And then we saw, and we worked with, I think, 10,000 families in 2020. And then when the results were really encouraging, and they saw for itself, and we presented evidence also. Presenting evidence, I would like to mention something that, there is a gap between, we really analyze the data between, what you receive, what you send, and a gap between sending and receiving, a gap between receiving and viewing, and a gap between viewing and actually translating into action.
Yeah, that's
When the state sends it for them, we have sent it to 29 lakhs. No, there is a big gap. And actually the final number may come from 29 lakhs, it may come down to 14 lakhs. But okay, for us, 14 lakhs also we know, okay, it has reached them, it's a big number. But we have to know actually, we should not be complacent. And we have to constantly try to look for strategies to fill these gaps. QA gaps. So that has been our effort. Otherwise, we would have been bored also, perhaps. So UP mein jo hua, we have been trying these new things. And UP, what we did, when it was found to be considerably successful, the state wanted to scale it up. Now, when the state wants to scale up something, this is a good thing, and certain things happen which were not completely in agreement. Thoda sa zyada structured ho gaya. They said कि हमारा जो curriculum है ECE का 32 weeks का है, इसको भी 32 weeks का होना है. कहीं पर दोनों में sync होना चाहिए, thematic होना चाहिए. Now we don't know that parenting is not teaching. There is a difference, and theme based तो होना ही नहीं चाहिए. But then it becomes teaching, and digital education and home-based education cannot really supplement learning. What children need to learn, but not purpose is also not that. But थोड़ा compromise करना पड़ा, just to make them happy. We said, हाँ, ये तो जानवर का theme है, तो we put one song and one story related to that, and they were happy and we were happy. So with this rider, maybe, a presentation of the montage. So it was a 32-week calendar which they put into an app, which is really very, very, very well done. That is why I wanted to share.
And this app is being used in UP only.
Again, the rider is sending, receiving, viewing, and doing mein hai, but it is being sent. It is in UP. Yes. But it is very well done, so I could not resist the temptation of sharing it.
Sure. Actually, Panna is sharing the screen, but we are unable to view anything. So, Namrata, could you just look at this?
Sure.
Does Grishma have it?
No, this I don't have.
Namrata, if you can switch off your
Video.
So to get more bandwidth. See, bandwidth is such an issue.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they are in Guwahati.
And they are in Guwahati. The network isn't too good.
What happens in the distance?
So it's the same thing, Namrata. It is showing as screen sharing, but we can't view anything. Maybe Namrata, you can try. I don't know whose
bandwidth is here.
Maybe Panna can continue the presentation, PPT, and in the meantime, if Namrata can send the link to Grishma.
Yes, I'm doing that.
Okay.
I also had a question while they're figuring it out, Shubhra, that the calendar, the Varnamala chart, the weekly messages, the posters, the home-based activity calendars, were they also disseminated in physical form to all the parents, or only digital forms were given?
Where in the A category, where we were working intensively,
Yeah, with
I know it is not sustainable, but then, the states also, having seen this, they are trying to come up with solutions. Like in West Bengal, they have, this is more for the aid of the Anganwadi worker also. She needs a ready reference.
Yeah.
Parents could be, and when she's talking to parents, if the digital option is not working, then she has this physical thing which she shows. And she, instead of the audio file, she talks about it. So it's the ready reckoner which she can share, and in Assam we have actually sent it out to parents in the A category where we are intensively working. But in West Bengal we have not done it. Yeah. And in UP we have given it in physical form to the Anganwadi workers, and they feel in the form of, they say कि बहुत काम का है. मैं जब जाती हूँ बैग में ले लेती हूँ, फिर घर में जाती हूँ, फिर निकाल के समझाना शुरू कर देती हूँ. It's easy for them. Otherwise everything from memory is so difficult.
Correct.
And technology always needs a backup, like you see is happening now. You never know whether it will work or not work.
True. I
So-
think they all had their manuals and everything that they had, and now something in one chart form was something handy for them to
Yes.
quickly use when they
Yes.
go for their home visits and or when the parents are coming for THR and things like that.
Yes.
And maybe those are things that worked for them.
Yes.
And there was also a need right now with the COVID being so playing the naughty game and keeping us all indoors and things like that. And I think even a need came from them how to reach out to the parents, and probably that's why they have. Now we will have to, I think, probably going ahead, look at how these can be more sustainable and be a part of the system that is there and carry on, because year by year we'll see new parents coming into the Anganwadi centers, and how they will take it to the next set of parents who are coming in will be things to as we go ahead to see how it can be improvised. Yeah, so Namrata, have we figured out, or okay, there's something up. It's a video.
The Balpitara app.
Okay.
It's available on Play Store.
Mm-hmm. Could somebody explain what's there in the
मी तिकडे बाजूला स्कॅमॉक्स मध्ये काम करायचे, मला माहिती आहे.
So this 32-week calendar that we did, it's all put in the form of an app, and an app, and it has been arranged like that. You can view only 1 week at a time, and when you complete it, then you go to the next.
All right.
And it's all there together. Otherwise, the sending is also quite messy and time-taking. It's very neatly put together. Play it.
आज हम लोग बाल्टी या डलिया में गेंद को फेंक कर डालने की गतिविधि करेंगे। इस गतिविधि के लिए हमें एक बाल्टी या डलिया और एक गेंद की आवश्यकता होगी। सबसे पहले एक बाल्टी या डलिया लें और उसे एक निश्चित जगह पर रख दें। इसके बाद अपने बच्चे को उस बाल्टी से कुछ दूर खड़ा करें और उसे एक गेंद दें। बच्चों की आयु के अनुसार आप बाल्टी और बच्चे के बीच की दूरी बढ़ा सकते हैं। जैसे छोटे बच्चे को बाल्टी से 1 से 2 मीटर और बड़े बच्चे को 2 से 3 मीटर की दूरी पर खड़ा करें। अब आप उसे यह निर्देश दें कि इस गेंद को फेंककर उस बाल्टी के अंदर डालो। इस खेल को और अधिक रोचक बनाने के लिए माता-पिता पहले गतिविधि को करके दिखा सकते हैं और फिर अपने बच्चे को इस गतिविधि को करने हेतु प्रोत्साहित कर सकते हैं।
এতিয়া মায়ে দিব এনেকা নহয় চিটিং। পিঠা কৰা হয়।
It is Hindi, but it is for Assam, it is Assamese. For Maharashtra, it is Marathi. For Bengal, it is Bengali.
So as per the region, the languages are modified. This is really nice because I'm sure now the parents won't object to घर का सामान निकाल के अगर बच्चे खेल रहे हैं उसको मना नहीं करेंगे. They have got it, like, so this is really nice. And also getting the parents to be a part of the activities, those animated ones with the instructions supported with the actual videos is really, I think, very easily parents can understand what is to be done and how it is to be done and things like that. Yeah, and also there is, I noticed when the child was, putting it as it is, nazdeek jaake dal diya ball ko, that is also acceptable, and that should be the way it is. Children are going to come up with their own versions, and that acceptance is also a part of the demonstration there. So
Yes.
Really nice.
I actually wanted to add something. Though we were not assessing, the package or the work from, from children's perspective, like it was more about the parenting part of it, and we were not assessing something, but we have seen immense change in children's behavior as well. We have seen children who are having speech problem or who are actually facing difficulty in socializing with others. Now we can see they are like very open, very confident, and talking about what they have done at home. That is something like, which comes along with as a byproduct. So we are not focusing on bringing a change in children's kind of their skills or levels, but it is happening as it is going forward, and parents are also bringing in a lot of stories. And I have a like very very interesting story from Assam. So we were thinking that because this is a parenting program, we may face problem while bringing fathers on board. But we have seen amazing stories from the field wherein fathers are actually taking initiatives, not just for their own children, but also for the neighborhood. And they are like kind of bringing in a lot of contextual stories, songs, and that is something which is also adding value to our program. And they are now sending audios, instead of us recording the audios and sending it to them, they are actually sharing the local songs, their local rhymes and all these things to us, so that we can share it further to the other parents. So that is something which is happening now, like the cycle has kind of gone the other way around.
That's really nice. Getting so many resources, flooded with resources.
Yes.
So,
Because I think, parents have something that is very important. They have the language.
Yes.
So we keep thinking, घर पे कैसे करेंगे, क्या करेंगे, कैसे parents करेंगे, and we keep thinking about learning outcomes. But as Namrata said, that it's not about learning outcomes. It's about ये छोटी-छोटी चीजें तो घर पे होती है. And the greatest resource that parents have is, emotion and language. And we feel that early childhood education is, the social emotional learning and the language component is taken care of. A lot of other things are just, they just fall into place.
Absolutely. What better way to have having your own parents engage with you as a child? I would love to have that. And I think this is so beautiful. So this was
Rekha, I had a suggestion. I was also looking at the time.
Yeah,
In the interest
absolutely.
of time, we will not complete the presentation, but I will just say a few words about the learning. ऐसे तो बात कर रहे थे, but very interesting piece of insight and learning I would like to share, and maybe we close it from our side and open it up for questions.
Sure.
So the learning is in Uttar Pradesh, Anganwadis have been running for more than a month now. They are open, one of the few states. So our team has been visiting. I think they visit 50 to 60 households every day. So for the past 1 month, they have visited hundreds of households, and what they have reported, it was like really beyond my expectations. One, they said that parents are they want to know कि पहले का तो एक्टिविटी इजी था, ये जो 32 वीक का आया है ना, थोड़ा सा हमको करवा दीजिए, समझा दीजिए. They want workshops. I mean, this is completely, the picture 3 years back was so different. So they are now planning कि parents के लिए कुछ workshops करेंगे, कुछ करेंगे. And the Anganwadi workers, they said कि 3 साल पहले उसको जैसा देखा था दीदी, they have completely changed. इतना empowering हो गया, because she has been connected with the process of learning, have been empowered by so many resources in a way. Perhaps पहले तो खाली training मिलते थे और चले आते थे. Now she has those songs, those rhymes, those activities. She has become active, energetic, much more motivated. And one Anganwadi worker said that हम लोग अब बात आसानी, like what she meant was we speak the same language, the parents and the Anganwadi workers. बच्चों के बारे में बातचीत करते हैं तो बहुत आसानी होती है, तो वो समझ जाते हैं मैं क्या बोलना चाहती हूँ. So this is something I felt. And other thing that my team has noticed while home visits, कि बहुत सारे games का innovation कर रहे हैं. Parents are innovative. So our next step maybe would be to collect Namrata's songs and stories and these innovations from the parents.
That's really nice.
This is what I wanted to share, and I'm closing our presentation here. Yeah, because it's time for questions.
Thank you
and-
so much. I also wondered, this was the RCP program that you shared about, and in all the
Okay.
different states, and how you have contextualized it, and how you looked at what the state is and how you had to adapt it, and all those things you have shared. I would also like, I read about your programs, and I really like the mobile pathshalas, which I wish you could also speak about that briefly, maybe just for all of us to know about it. And then we'll go on to the questions.
Okay. And the pictures are wonderful. I wish I could share them. There's no time anymore.
Yeah.
Otherwise I have something ready, but I won't show it. These were started in Jharkhand as a COVID response. And we worked in two districts in 2 blocks. As I told you, they were predominantly tribal districts in Chakulia and Ormaji. And Chakulia has a high number of showered communities. They are really, really backward.
Okay.
In many senses. But the kind of response, and it is for 3 to 10-year-old children. So basically, we have deployed 10 vans. They are really stacked with resources and storybooks and everything that a child can dream of. Sab kuch hai usme, playthings. So, and then we have made a routine. So they go. So we cover 100 villages through these vans. Ek routine hai. So they spend 2 hours in a village. Uska pura schedule hai. It's very structured. Because structure nahi rehne se na, you can't really, it will be meaningless. There is flexibility, but there is a little bit of warm-up activity. There is some recitation, singing, storytelling, thoda sa number work, thoda sa language game. Sab mila ke there is a nice and a lot of working, hands-on working with the materials. Read aloud is very important. And books is something I know they just took to it like anything. And they do role plays and all like that. And then, when the van comes, and I was there personally visiting the field in September, it reminded me of that Pothet Pachali picture of that Oppu and the sister running to see the train. So वैसे गाड़ी आ रही थी, वो धान खेत से. The children kept, I don't know, you get goosebumps. These things happen. And then, they were running towards it, and the joy and the parents and everything. It was again out in the open community, in open spaces. The weather was fine. So we reached 4,000 children. The program winded up earlier this month, but I was so happy to know from my team that 20 villages are continuing. One child has become the child leader, and there is one community member who is educated, has volunteered. So the child comes and does the Bal Geet and the activities, and then the community member takes over the thoda sa maths and thoda sa language ho raha hai. So this was really an unexpected. When we started, ours was just a COVID response, just to get them connected to the process of learning. But there is so much need, and there is so much desire on the part of the community to connect.
Absolutely.
So when they get the right things, yes.
Yeah.
So this is what I wanted.
Thank you so much for sharing. And I read about it, and I've seen those pictures, and I wanted all of everybody to hear in.
And heartwarming, actually very heartwarming.
Actually heartwarming. Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Rekha, I have one request. So
Sure.
if you have few seconds, I want to show you all something, and I want to end our presentation with this picture. So Panna will display a picture, and we will try to imitate it.
Okay.
This is from our recent model center.
I could imitate this.
So the child is actually standing in front of the emotion window. And, this is something which we, candidly captured, and it was amazing. And this child is amazing.
Nice,
So,
really nice. I would love to imitate it. So much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So we have, I'm just looking at some of the questions. If people have posted it, Shobha is going to help us with it, and also Grishma. Yeah, thank you for answering some of those questions there directly, Namrata. Yeah, we are ready to take in those questions. Yeah, some of them already Shubhra has answered about the language of instructions.
Rekha, can I just comment?
Yeah, please do, Vrinda. You're welcome.
Shubhra ji, Vrinda, yeah?
Yes.
How are you?
Good, good.
Very nice to see you. Very happy that you have participated in this. I think the world has to know the great work you all are doing. I think it is, and it has been such a wonderful learning experience. I mean, you know what Vikramshila is doing, but knowing those nuances, the kind of thought behind it, and the kind of experiences you have had, I think it was just marvelous. Um, I just wanted, what I appreciated about Vikramshila is being able to adapt to the requirements and needs across states and across the field, you know, as like COVID responses or newer ways in which you can address children or education. I think that has been a marvelous contribution of Vikramshila. I just wanted to ask whether, since you have worked with 4 or 5 states and tried to, you know, kind of enhance the quality or the early childhood programs, do you think there are, in your observations, any 2, 3 things that every state must look at to move towards quality?
You are talking about the normal functioning of the states and all that. I think infrastructure is very important. I'm sorry, it sounds so hackneyed, but you know, very recently
Yes.
we did a scoping study in one of the states. I won't name it, and uh, and I know that a lot of work has happened in those areas, but we could see nothing because there is no storage space. There is nothing. That infrastructure is missing. It's like a leaking bucket where you pour in resources, and nothing is visible. So infrastructure, and then we found that toilets were not there and they were not using it, or you know, the unusable condition, water was not there. And so right now in the COVID times, and we are all thinking about the health concerns are at the top of our minds, where we felt, and all the children were going to open spaces, and it was a real health hazard. Everything. So I was shuddering to think कि ये तो बंद है, ऐसे हो रहे हैं, खुलेंगे, सारे बच्चे आएंगे, क्या होगा? So infrastructure is one very important thing. And the second is, I think the Anganwadi worker, she needs a very kind of, I won't say scripted, but a detailed kind of guidance. Because when you compare, you know, when we were comparing the schools and Anganwadis in this state, the school teacher says, yes, I have got a syllabus and I've got textbooks. So he knows exactly what to teach, how much to teach. The Anganwadi worker ke samne, you know, there is this whole thing, and I think a more detailed planning helps. And wherever we have worked and been able to do this, they have really come up and shown results. And they need mentoring is of prime importance.
Absolutely.
Only training doesn't work, and this and the training also has to be broken down into simple pieces and then followed by interim periods of mentoring. And this is an investment that the governments, I know it is a huge investment, but they have to somehow you know, think of ways to do it. In Uttar Pradesh and in many other states, nice experiment has started because a large number of NGOs work there. So a consortium has been formed to see that, you know, there is no duplication.
Right.
You know, 5 NGOs working in the same Anganwadis, and there are 50
Absolutely.
Anganwadis not receiving anything. So this kind of thing, it can be eased, and you know, and also, you know, if this NGO strength is in this and this NGO strength is in this, how can everyone get together? Because the problem is so complex and so, you know, huge that, you know, unless we work in collaboration. So this is the third thing, I think. Even for providing mentoring support, what kind of partnership with civil society organizations the state can think of. Have I answered your
No,
question, Vrindaji?
absolutely. Only just wanted to suggest that your experiences of Vikramshila are so rich. We need literature. I think you must publish some book or something
We
about
need
it.
help from you all academics.
Because I feel we have so much learning to do from that.
We want to do it, but we need your support.
Definitely. But I think there's so much learning. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vrinda, for having that question there. And I'm sure the large scale and the variations that we have across our country is we need every hand out there to chip in and bridge all those gaps which we are seeing. And as rightly you said, Shubhraji, overlap doesn't make sense. It is to identify your strengths and work in those pockets where we can make that change really meaningful. There are another couple of, there is a lot of appreciation coming for you from in the chat. And one of One of the question is, how are you looking at NEP implementation at the ground level? What type of new adaptations you would like to suggest?
It's a very difficult question to answer, but to give a very short and sweet answer, I think there also I would like to stress on the word collaboration. Because what we here also we are working in 5 or 6 states in this area, but I feel that DWCD has a wealth of experiences. It has a history, whole history of, and it is a strength. And it's not that, today SCRT has become the academic authority that they know everything about early childhood education. I think they need to work together and see, and so that nothing is lost. That collaboration has to start from the top, and so that is something which needs to be taken care of right now. I think, whereas the new curriculum and all, it will be very sad. And I'll feel very sad in West Bengal. Itna acha curriculum hai, suddenly that gets rejected, and I'm not saying that there will not be, something that has worked, that functions well, and something else comes in which is not perhaps not grounded so much on evidence, on groundwork, so much informed by ground experience. Aisa hona chahiye. So nothing should be left out. I think we should try to see that we should be cognizant of history.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel the Anganwadi workers, they bring in a lot, and the local trust se leke, everything what they the ownership also that they have with the community is so much there, that should not be lost.
And one of the areas we are talking a lot about multilingual education, mother tongue education. Having gone to the fields and seeing, the Anganwadi workers are a lot better at implementing that, and they can be a resource to the schools. Now, we are always talking about school teachers being mentors. How about making Anganwadi workers mentors for multilingual, mother tongue education, home language, bridging the gap between home language? They do it so seamlessly, so spontaneously. So we have to change our mindset.
Yeah, that's really nice, because that is, and I know that is your area of interest, the multilingual thing. And I did mean to ask you that, but it was good. Thank you for answering it right ahead. And similarly, I think we have taken in all the questions from the chat, and I don't see any more there. Great work, great zeal. Hats off to you all. Those are some of the comments that are coming. So inspiring to know the details of the varied work of Vikramshila. Okay, there's one question which is, after NEP 2020, scope of ECC is under foundational stage, means in primary grades. Any clarification on it?
So there is, I don't know, but the message is very clear in NEP. 5 years of learning, foundational learning as a continuum, which is a very good thing. So 3 years of pre-primary in the Anganwadis, and the first 2 years in the schools. As of now, the pre-primary classes of school is not a reality, the Balvatika. So Balvatika is still a question mark, but till that happens, I think 3 years of early childhood education in the Anganwadi and 2 years of primary education in the primary schools, they should be looked at as one block. And their NEP is clearly talking about not a downward extension of formal education to the Anganwadis, but an upward extension of the early childhood learning methods to the primary classes. And that is what all of efforts are. I think we should, all the early childhood educators, we should really work to make this happen.
Thank you. And I think Namrata, Ghosh, because you were there in the Balvatika designing, what do you feel are the challenges in implementing FNL at the ground level is one of the questions that has come from.
I think there's a lot of confusion about where the Balvatika is to be located, or I think it's very clear when I was a part of the working group that what NCRT is thinking is that it is definitely before class 1. It is not necessarily within the school, and we should also recognize what is happening on the ground. There cannot be one model that can be implemented across the country. We have to, work with what is there on the ground. If there are Anganwadis, then we will work with Anganwadis and take the last year as the Balvatika. And if there is space within school, we can have the class there. or have a co-located space, like something is being tried out in UP, where there is a a classroom or a space being created for those that 3 months school readiness curriculum, as well as for the Balvatic activities. So different models can be tried out, but let us not throw away what Shubhra was also saying. Let's not throw away what's already been done and try to recreate something new, but start with where we are, and be open to having 4-5 different models across the state.
So,
and this continuum is more of a curricular intervention, not a structural. That is the confusion that people have in mind. अभी they are imagining कि एक structure आ जाएगा. पहले तो curriculum ठीक हो, structure से कुछ नहीं होते हैं, सिर्फ structure से. पहले तो mindsets बदले, फिर देखा जाएगा.
correct. So here we'll take this as the last question, and then we'll close the session. Vivek Kumar is asking how ECC will be merged with the formal education as per the accordance of NEP when we have scarcity of teachers. Also, for working with children of early years requires specific skills in teachers. So there's an observation and there is a question there.
We did a scoping study just to understand this phenomenon in one of the states. And the answer is very clear. What can I say? Namrata, would you like to say?
I think we just have to be cognizant of the situation, not rush into anything. Let's see how things go. But we have the Anganwadi workers, we have the Anganwadi space. Let us revitalize it, is what I would say, what I would suggest. And I think the policy push is also going towards that.
Strengthen the Anganwadi, strengthen early childhood education, and prepare a plan. Not overnight, kuch nahi hone wala hai. Plan based on very good analysis of the ground situation, yes. And staggered plan.
Yeah.
Then we will.
Thank you so much. And as I promised, that was the last question. Some of them are still coming up, but we're really short of time. And we would like to close the session. So I just want to close the session with a small message, if that could be shared from on your side. Namrata, Rawat, if you have any message for all the students out there who are in the early childhood space, and what would you want to share something to them?
Thanks, Rekha, for the question. I was actually thinking what I want to actually convey. So one is very personal, one is very professional. The personal thing is I started my career as an education student. I did my BLEd, then I did my master's in education and psychology. So I started as a teacher. It was a very small scale, start, and I was just making a difference inside a classroom. And then my next career was to actually finding out the problems as when I was part of AECED, Ambedkar University, and now I am trying my best to scale my impact as a person. And if I can do it, anybody can do it. So from being a student to a teacher to a researcher and now to a practitioner in education, anything is possible. And yes, if we are bringing a change to a small level, even if that even that change is that matters. And I would convey this to all the students who have joined us, to believe in themselves and start from wherever we are. There are problems we know, and we are here to change it. Yeah. So that's my personal plus professional advice to all the students who are here.
Thank you so much. And as a researcher, Namrata, Ghosh, would you like to share a message to all those who are listening?
So I'll go back to Durkheim, who I've studied and who I keep in my heart all the time, that social phenomena everywhere is rooted and caused within society. The causes are there, the problems are there, the solutions are all within us. So let us take it forward together.
Very nice. Thank you. And as a leader, Shubhra, what would you like to say to all the leaders out there and emerging leaders?
Yes, I think, I had made this choice and I do not regret it. I'm so happy. It is a very soul satisfying experience to be working in the area of education, and especially young children. And you can really, if you want to change, I know young people are passionate, they are idealistic, they want to change the world, they want to make a difference. And if you really want to do that, this is the space for you. Come and join. We need you.
Thank you so much. That's an open invitation to everybody. So we'll all see you. This was the last spotlight webinar. We did a series of bringing good practices, exemplary practices in the field all over India. And now we all look forward to seeing you all in the conference, which is 2nd of June. And hope you all register as soon as possible. Please bring in your friends, colleagues, everybody, and look at how you can register in groups. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Vikramshila team. Thank you so much.
Thank you for
Thank you
inviting
so
us
much,
and giving us
Rekha ji.
this space.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.